first thing that I remember was I had a digital watch that my dad bought me, and it had a battery on the back, an exposed battery, like, you know, the little round silver ones, and I wore it for a while, and then I started to get really itchy underneath, and then a patch grew bigger and bigger, and then from there I just got more and more as time went on, and yeah, I've basically had it ever since. The thing that used to go through my mind all the time was, will I pass this on? You know, a lot of the indicators are that it's genetic. I didn't want my child to kind of struggle the same like ways that I've struggled. But at the same time, there's lots of things that are worse to live with than psoriasis. So I just used to have to keep reminding myself of that, and who best placed to kind of lead her through it, or him, than somebody that's kind of dealt with it all their life. So then it was a case of, right, what do we do in terms of treatment? I didn't want to not have any treatment because of how bad it does get, but at the same time I was very aware that I didn't want any treatment to have an impact on the pregnancy and the development of the baby. So I had a lot of conversations with my dermatologist about it, and the tablets that I was on at the time, cyclosporin, that was kind of safe to have when you were trying for a baby. So then it was a decision of, do I stay on cyclosporin once I'm pregnant, or do I come off treatment altogether? But I made the decision to, once I found out I was pregnant, to stop any treatment, and it actually got a lot better during pregnancy, which was really great. Once I'd had the baby, it was a choice of, right, what now? You know, do I go for breastfeeding, or do I go back on a treatment? Is it the same one? Will it work the same way? So what we did was try to give myself a bit longer of breastfeeding, but once I'd had the baby, my skin erupted, you know, as expected, and I went on to light therapy. After I had Isabel, and after I had the light treatment, and as usual, a couple of weeks after I finished the light treatment, the psoriasis came back with a vengeance. Went back to my dermatologist, and we'd basically been through all the steps to then be ready for me to be referred on to the dermatology department at Salford Royal, and from there I met with Professor Griffiths, who was just amazing and talked to me about the biological treatments. I went on to the first biological treatment. It didn't really work that well at all. I maybe had a 10% improvement, and I was due to get married in about 7 months' time at that point. So I was really kind of hoping to be clear for the wedding, or at least as clear as I could be. So that didn't work, and then we tried another one. That didn't work either, and then we tried another one, which is the one that I've been on ever since, Stelara, and it's just a godsend. And I've been pretty much 94-95% clear since. It was about 3 years after I'd had Isabel that I started thinking, you know, maybe I'm ready for another baby. And then the decision was, right, well, I've got my skin to this amazing place that it's never ever been before in my life. Do I sacrifice that? Because ultimately I know that I'm going to have to come off whatever treatment, because I personally didn't want to be on a treatment in case something happened. So yeah, it was very much weighing up that decision of, do I have another baby and come off my treatment and my skin goes crazy, or do I stay on it and not have another baby, or do I stay on it and, you know, have the pregnancy whilst being on the biologic treatments, which, having conversations with the doctors at the dermatology unit, they were comfortable that I could be on it and get pregnant without there being much of an impact. But I didn't quite feel too comfortable about that. And then once I got pregnant, I came off it. So I kind of timed it that after my last injection, I was then going to start trying for another baby. You know, there's so many options available, and they will guide you. They'll absolutely guide you, and they will work with you, whatever you're choosing to do in your kind of family planning journey. They'll work with you and give you the options, and support you and help you in whatever decision you make, and then what the best thing is for you. You know, I think the really good thing is they never force anything. And I know it sounds like, well, of course they don't, why would they? But it's definitely something that I've been really grateful for, to be able to have that space to make my own kind of choice with it.